My uncle bought this house in the 1980s for like £18,000. It's worth now 2005 like around £1 million. He wants me to inherit this house, but it's likely that I'm going to have to sell it because I can't afford the tax. And the only reason why it is so expensive and I can't afford the tax and I likely have to sell this house is because people have been using housing as a store of value to put their money to hold their wealth in. And that's not, something that my uncle has anticipated in that sense. You want to buy a house because that was the thing to do. That's you need to secure a home. But the more money that they put in the system, the less your money is worth. So the more you have to put up in order to pay for the things that you could have afforded back in history than you can today. So the driver of this is money that's pretty for free, that is generated out of thin air, and you're the ones that are going to have to sort of make a decision about a moral choice here about how you're going to survive in this system. Because if you don't, you're just going to not survive in this environment. You're just surrendering to poverty and the erosion of something that shouldn't have been eroded in the first place. If they kept the money supply finite and constrained, that purchasing power over time would have increased rather than decreased. Housing would be at their utility value rather than being used as a store of value. What created the situation in the first place? The fact that in 1971, the Nixon shock, he said, we're going to come off a gold standard. Basically, that means that we're just going to generate money, print money for free. That's not backed by the amount of gold that we've got in our store or on our Fort Knox. And what's going to happen is that we're just going to flood the system with money, call it money, it's government money, it's money because we say it is, all right? It's by decree, it's fiat money. So they just generate money, flood the system with more money, which basically means that the more they do that, the less your money is worth. And over time, since 1971, your £10 or your Great British pound has lost 94% of its value since 1971. That means if you've got £10 in your pocket, that's only as good as 60 pence in 1971. So you've had to work harder for longer for less because they keep printing and generating money. So yes, you are going to try and find ways to stop that from happening. That's been happening for a long time. And the longer it happens, the bigger the wealth divide there is and will be. Because people who have been able to capitalize on that have done so because it's incentivized, the system incentivizes you to do that. What are you going to do? Just sort of sit and just wait for your money to erode? If you've got the opportunity to put it somewhere where it's going to grow, you would. We're flawed human beings, right? We know the impact of us doing this if you've got access to it. But what else are you going to do? You're incentivizing a system that is a Ponzi scheme to participate in it, because if you don't, you're going to fail, right? And that's the fundamental problem here.